Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and to the 15th of October, the date that Valorant franchising is set as the soft roster lock for this season. Teams, I believe, today will have to say to Valorant and to the Riot guys what their plans are for the team, which probably means announcements are coming very soon indeed. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Want some further confirmation here potentially from Loud Less that Cloud9 yay is indeed happening, and contracts I believe are getting signed not just on the Cloud9 side but also elsewhere. Quickly though on this, which I thought was a really interesting kind of aspect of this franchising, what is actually a partnership league, because Riot chooses their partners and therefore Riot has the ultimate power over the partners. Riot pays the partners and therefore the partners have to do what Riot says effectively, otherwise they get booted out of the league. So according to a few sources, Riot has not been particularly pleased with the internal behavior coming from some of their partnered organizations. More than one warning has been issued to some of these organizations, so I don't really know the extent of this. I imagine a lot of it's coming out of the Pacific region, unfortunately, and one of these teams, RRQ, has been in hot water, let's just say. So Bodor goes on to clarify, some have seen a lot of people come to the conclusion that teams are going to get kicked out. Organizations get warnings for small things which can cause issues in the future. Riot is just setting their expectations of how orgs should behave early on, so there won't be any issues. So this is kind of the weird facet, I suppose, of this partnership league, is that it's not like these teams come through, pay $10-15 million to Riot, and therefore it's kind of the teams that have the kind of power over Riot in a sense, because the teams pay the money to get in, and they probably pay it in installments, right? Let's say I pay, $2 million up front, then $5 million the next year, $5 million next year, I don't know. Let's say I do something like that, then I still owe you $10 million, so Riot can't really come to me and say, you know what, you're not doing this right, XYZ, because, they need my money at the end of the day. So, but in this way around, it's Riot giving them the money, the teams, therefore the teams have to comply with whatever Riot say or they get kicked out of the league, is pretty much the implication. Now, this probably has something to do with Team RRQ, because just after this comes out from Bodog, where he says, you know what, the Riot isn't so happy with what these teams are doing and they're issuing warnings and stuff, then they come out and say, well, after announcing their team a few days ago, we ain't done yet, and they just brought in this player, Flipside, an actual Indonesian player, I believe, to their roster. So this is kind of where the questions were being raised, because RRQ a few days ago signed what is effectively an entirely Filipino team for an Indonesian organization, where I guess Riot expected, and certainly the fans expected, in the Indonesian team to get support from this organization. As it turns out, they really didn't sign any Indonesian players, and now they are, seemingly. So they may have screwed themselves over here, right? Because they've kind of signed their starting roster, and now what are they going to do? Sign another 5 Indonesian players that they could have signed already? Are they going to sit there with a 10-man team? What is the plan here, right? So yeah, just coincidental timing that there's talk about Riot not being happy with what some of these organizations are doing, and then RRQ all of a sudden signing some Indonesian players, as they probably should have done all along. So that might just be one part of the story though, because yeah, probably other teams also in hot water with Riot right now over some of their decision making. Now this on KOI esports from the European side, the Spanish scene, eBay and co, they are going to sign apparently Coldamenta, Shados, Wolf and Stark. So Barbar is the head coach, and Trex is going to join as the 5th man. Really interesting team, not quite the kind of super team standards that Fnatic are trying to build and Liquid are trying to build, and who knows what else is going on over there, but still a pretty solid roster with some great players from around the world. Looking forward for seeing Trex here, and also, Starkso and Shados, great players from their respective teams in the past. Definitely going to be an exciting roster moving forward. This quickly from Gen.G, signing the former TNL core of Meteor, Echo and TS, and then bringing in King from Onslayers, and then Intro apparently is coming in from Damwon. So that's their plan there. There's also been some talk, I believe, from Autumn, the head coach of T1, that they're pretty much done with their signings for now. So we'll see if there's anything more to come out of T1, but they've pretty much built up their core, it seems, for now. Ban is coming in, or at least staying over, and stuff like that as well. Or I think he counts as an import from NA, so bit of a messy situation really because of the dual citizenship stuff. Maybe they've got to work some of those kinks out really to build the roster they want to build. But yeah, unfortunately, Steel, Thwyfo not going to be part of that team going forwards. The rest of the guys will be staying. This from Fnatic real quick actually, because they're doing, I don't know if this is kind of like a last dance type thing they're doing here, and to be fair, some of these guys are still staying, but for Mystic obviously is going to be gone, but I don't know what exactly they're up to here, but they've got Mystic, they've got Twiston actually, I guess, on the left hand side. Players that are going to be going, Kodra I believe is maybe their team manager, and then you got Alpha of course, then Durko also mentioned here. So yeah, just baiting around of course. Mini and Boaster I think was also tweeting stuff like this out. We do believe it's going to be those core 3 plus Chrono Chronicle plus Leo to round out the team. And as I say, today being October the 15th, you would imagine announcements will be coming soon for Tier 1, and then it goes into the Tier 2 discussions, and that's where, to me, things get even more exciting, you could argue. And, well, one of the players in discussions is Marved. Where's he going to go? What's the plan for Marved? We don't believe he's going to go to EG, and if he doesn't go to EG, there are no other North American organizations still in discussion there. Maybe the Sentinels ship sailed for him, and now he's out of a position. Even if this is, I play for the money, I play for the love of the game and becoming the best. So if Marved is really committed to that, then where's he going to go? This is still a big question. Now, speaking of Chet and some of the OpTic guys, they have now signed a deal somewhere. Chet says, of course, well, he's still the coach of OpTic, but he says paper, signed, tick, or whatever. So kind of an interesting or a different way to, usually they do the stupid contract signing gift that I'm really fed up of now, but this is a nicer way to do it. So a lot of guys tweeting this last night, but especially interesting because Marved even replies once again saying, question mark, what's going on? Just signed my 3-year extension with OpTic, of course. So yeah, we believe Chet's going to be joining that OpTic core, going over to NRG. So maybe they've finally got the deal sorted out and the pen is getting put to paper. But also Ethan tweeted this. So what's going on here? Ethan, formerly of NRG, we believe he's going to be gone. I mean, they announced he's an unrestricted free agent or whatever he is to move on elsewhere. Still, I guess, technically part of NRG for now. But yeah, we don't believe he's going to be staying. They're bringing in Victor, Crashies, FNS, joining him with Artist, we think, and also Som is meant to be the team of 5. So if that is the case, where's Ethan going? And has he signed a deal? Is he just tweeting this out for the sake of it? But also, why has he done exactly the same thing that Chet did, right? It's literally the same tweet. So, I mean, look, I guess it's just copying his style to some degree. But yeah, has Ethan signed a deal? If he has, where would it be? EG is the only reasonable option in North America. And if it's not EG, then is it an Ascension team, right? Do Ascension teams, put pen to paper on players this early on? Does Ethan know full well that he's probably not getting a spot in the starting franchise league anywhere, so better off going into Ascension and getting a deal done there early on, where he can kind of be the star player to get built around, because, there's big orgs like TSM version 1 and the like that are definitely staying around in the North American franchise league or the North American Ascension league, the tier 2 below franchising for next season. So whether Ethan's already signed a deal there, that is not out of the question right now. Speaking of EG, though, I thought this was funny from FNS. He says live, and then of course turns out live, I suppose, if you flip it in a certain way and change the year around, it becomes kind of evil in a way, right? And then Valorant intro's like, well, evil genius is, and he says not a chance. So yeah, kind of funny really that FNS just completely shutting down EG, saying no way I want to join there. And that's the thing, like even Ye said the same thing, and even Marv said it, right? He was like, yeah, I'm not joining EG, there's no way, no disrespect, but I'm not joining EG was his kind of wording. And so yeah, either they're just not paying any money or no one actually wants to play for EG anyway. So why do they make franchising? That's another question that is definitely worthy of being raised right now over a TSM or an OpTic and some of these other organizations that could have got in, but unfortunately I think did not, especially from a fan's perspective here. Few words though on Sentinels. I actually am impressed how quickly Zekken has kind of got into the whole Sentinels Twitter mindset here. So he's been joking around and saying the type of stuff that a Sentinels member should and would, could say. Even at this real quick, he kind of quote tweets from 2016 with ShahZaM and ShahZaM joining TSM. Whether this is a foresight to ShahZaM becoming a TSM member, ShahZaM of course is going to stay as the coach for 100 Thieves, we would well imagine. But even this from Zekken. Sentinels has yet to follow bot.me to 100k. I don't even know why I joined at this point. Unrelated, looking for a flex player, must have 100k plus followers. I see we're looking to lose everything for a year again, right? So interesting statement here from Zekken, right? He's basically just saying, yeah, your team last year was terrible. Without me, you guys are nothing. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know, maybe roasting the former lineup to a certain extent. That's one way to look at it. But also I wanted to say this from Zombs, part of the former lineup, you could argue, from at least back in the day, thinking of his options for tier 2. I think he was with Shroud in the call, but also talking about Hiko, that those 3, even Sinatraa said he was down, and others, to potentially form a tier 2 Sentinels roster for Ascension. Whether they can do that, I don't know, but they are definitely planning to compete in tier 2.
Nice job.
Oh, wardell, the first time chat, or he's come from? Oh wait, one of them's a possible ban evader. Never mind.
For tier 2, you, me, Shroud.
I'm down.
Yeah, for real. He's speaking facts, man. He's speaking facts.
If we have an org.
Tarek.
Are we doing orgless?
It could be like 100 Thieves farm team.
I'm asking Sentinels to see if they're allowed to have an Ascension team.
Down, let's just run it up.
Good. I mean, we definitely could make a good team for it with the amount of players that didn't get in.
I'm down.
They won't.
Bro, Hiko's been asking me to make a team for like, bro, I remember like last time I queued with him like once like months ago, and he was like, let's make a team.
This is the question that still has to be answered, and apparently Zombs has been asking Sentinels to find out for him. Like, what is the plan in regard to Tier 2 Ascension? Can teams in Tier 1 field Tier 2 rosters? Like, I don't really see too much of a conflict of interest there until that team qualifies. Like, Sentinels should be able to have an academy or something, you would think, in Tier 2 to scout players and stuff to make sure they know what the plan is for the future. But of course, if that team was to then win Ascension, then, you know, they obviously can't have two teams in the top league. So I can't really see too much of an issue with having a second division team in Ascension, given the fact that the Ascension teams will never play the top teams unless they honestly go on to win Ascension. So I'd be surprised if Riot's completely are against the idea of second teams and academy teams altogether, even though it could cause complications, but I think the complications will be very few and far between. So yeah, what do you guys expect? Zombs, Shroud, Hiko even, plus a couple just to create a pure content team in Ascension. It would be absolute great fun to watch. Maybe they'd even do rather well, who knows? Couple of words on the game changers, because it's just about finishing up in the North American region. Cloud9 White looks set to win again, and if they do win, they go to the World Championship for the game changers in, I don't know if it's Berlin or it's somewhere relatively soon anyway, and I think that's going to be really exciting. So yeah, I mean, even as Katsumi says here, like the trash talk is just absurd in game changers. The amount of drama is incredible. So yeah, 2-0 versus Shopify Rebellion. Honestly, boring games. Grand finals on Sunday, GG's. So yeah, they're looking rather confident. And this is the bracket, right? I mean, they've just destroyed everyone again. Cloud9 White in the grand finals here. Shopify Rebellion versus Misfits Black in the lower final today to determine the winner on Sunday. So that's pretty much your update for today. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit a like button. Tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, and I was like, you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care, and I'll see you next time.